Hello, Jacob here. And as you can clearly see, I'm not really wearing anything Vikings related. And no, that's not because I'm really still upset about the Vikings losing against the Packers. It's just, well, let's just put it this way. I have a kind of a big announcement with the Timberwolves coming up, so stay tuned about that. Let's just say I'm excited. But anyway, back to the first part of this video. Sort of doing a pseudo Week 17 Minnesota Vikings preview against the Chicago Bears. So yeah, as I said before, the Minnesota Vikings season finale, regular season finale game is against the Chicago Bears at US Bank Stadium. And like I say, the reason why it's not really making a formal intro is because, well, frankly, the Vikings are the 6th seed no matter what happens, and the Bears are, well, out. So, it'll be kind of interesting to see what the Vikings decide to do, who they decide to rest, if they decide to rest anybody. Even though I have heard rumors that there's a few players out. I know Kendricks is out. Cook will be out for this game. So, yeah, it'd be nice to kind of see some of the backups, you know. Kentrell Brothers, I know he stepped up all right. Eric Wilson, I have a feeling he's going to be our starter next year over Ben Gideon. Because, well, I think I've maybe seen, like, 20 games in, like, the last, well, basically since Gideon's been in the league, like, 3 years ago. So, to be fair, we really don't use a lot of 3 linebackers anymore. Kind of use more of, like, a 4-2-5, more or less. Use more like a nickel package for most of the time just because, well, a lot of the competition we face is a lot of like 3 or 4 receivers. So, obviously, we've seen enough of Anthony Barr get toasted by receivers and Kendricks. I mean, no offense to either Barr or Kendricks, but it's kind of hard when you're facing like a 4-3 receiver and you're like 4-5. You know? Yeah. So, anyway, but yeah. So, it'll be interesting to see here who the Vikings all rest, how hard the Bears will play, and also, who will the Vikings play come Week 18, otherwise known as Le Wildcard Round. Because right now there's 4 teams that are currently, well, vying to play the Vikings, or host the Vikings, I should say, and those teams are the Packers, Niners, Saints, and even potentially the Seahawks, depending on how this goes. But again, I really won't, you know, preview that until I know who we're playing, so, but I will still do a recap. And with all that being said, now on to the announcement, and the reason why I'm wearing all this Timberwolves gear. So, yeah, my family had our Christmas yesterday, and, well, first things first, I did get this. Nice little sweatshirt. Really enjoy it. It's nice and warm, especially living in the upper Midwest during, you know, the winter time. It gets very cold up here, so I don't know if you know that. Upper Midwest, it gets kind of cold during the winter time. Who would have thought? But anyway, back to the main focus. My dad, my uncle, and I are going to a Minnesota Timberwolves game on January 18th against the Toronto Raptors. So yeah, we'll be going to see the Minnesota Timberwolves take on the defending NBA champs, Karl Anthony Towns, Andrew Wiggins, and Josh Okogie, against Fred VanVleet, Kyle Lowry, and Pascal Siakam. That'll be fun to see. This will be my first ever NBA game, at least that I can remember. But yeah, this will definitely be my first ever Timberwolves game going to live. And, yeah, very excited about that. Again, that'll be January 18th against the Toronto Raptors. And again, I'm in the works of trying to get a jersey for that. So, stay tuned for that pickup video if that ever comes or whatever happens there. So, yeah, but like I say, that'll be very exciting for me and my family. Because like I said before, I've been to like 4 Vikings games. I've been to like 4 or 5 Twins games at this point. Haven't gone to any Wild games, but that might be next year. And, yeah, Now I can cross off the Timberwolves. So I've been to 3 out of the 4 professional men's Minnesota sports markets. Hopefully we can make it a 4 for 4 next year. And who knows? Maybe I'll actually make a Vikings preview from US Bank Stadium. The guy can dream, can't he? Yeah, it's probably going to be a couple years yet, won't it? But yeah. So, before I babble on too much longer, again, hopefully I might try to do a little recording at the actual T-Wolves game, but, you know, copyrights and all that stuff. But, yeah, so you guys have a wonderful night, and you guys have a happy new year, and expect the post-Vikings Week 17 when it usually happens. So, until we meet again, this is Jacob, and have a wonderful night.